One step away, forward in motion. Know where I've been, know where I'm going. Voices rise up, a beautiful sound. There's more than enough music to go around. Everyone step in line with me. Put your hands up, get on your feet. Oh, 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 oh. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky. Circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before, we shining on forevermore. Circle of stars in the same big sky. Love could fill up an ocean. I lift you up, you keep me going. Anything is possible, there's nothing we can't do. Bring out the best in me, I'll give it back to you. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky. Circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before, we shining on forevermore. Circle of stars in the same big sky. In line with me, put your hands up, get on your feet. Oh, 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 oh. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky. Circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before, we shining on forevermore. Circle of stars in the same big sky. This kind of love could fill up an ocean. I lift you up, you keep me going. Anything is possible, there's nothing we can't do. Bring out the best in me, I'll give it back to you. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky. step away, forward in motion. Know where I've been, know where I'm going. Voices rise up, a beautiful sound. There's more than enough music to go around. Everyone step in line with me. Put your hands up, get on your feet. Oh, 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 oh. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky, circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before, we shining on forevermore. Circle of stars in the same big sky. Love could fill up an ocean. I lift you up, you keep me going. Anything is possible, there's nothing we can't do. Bring out the best in me, I'll give it back to you. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky, circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before, we shining on forevermore. Circle of stars in the same big sky. Step away, forward in motion. Know where I've been, know where I'm going. Voices rise up, a beautiful sound. There's more than enough music to go around. Everyone step in line with me. Put your hands up, get on your feet. Oh, 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 oh. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky, circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before, we shining on forevermore. Circle of stars in the same big sky. Love could fill up an ocean. I lift you up, you keep me going. Anything is possible, there's nothing we can't do. Bring out the best in me, I'll give it back to you. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky, circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before, we shining on forevermore.
Welcome to the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. Nestled between the Inner Harbor in Baltimore and the National Harbor just south of the nation's capital, the suburban city of Columbia offers easy access to both, where you find no shortage of activities, entertainment, and sightseeing. With a population of approximately 104,000 inhabitants, this thriving, diverse, planned community, developed by James Rouse, was established in 1967 with the goal of enhancing the lives of its residents. Columbia boasts good schools, fine restaurants, private homes, condos, and apartments, hiking trails, music venues, malls, and local shops. Founded in 1983, the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, also known as CCSL, currently conducts services at the Hawthorne Center in Columbia and has done so since December 1984. Who are we and who are we looking for? We are a collaborative, supportive, loving, and fun-loving community welcoming all who join us. We take pride in the programs we offer and the events we hold. One of our greatest needs now is to rebuild our community into a thriving spiritual home that realizes our full potential. We know that the perfect minister is awaiting our call. Our new minister is creative, collaborative, welcoming, enthusiastic, embodies inclusivity, fosters open and healthy dialogue, embraces and empowers shared leadership, and is committed to pastoral care. Our aspirations are growing our presence in the community at large, as well as within CSL, developing a broader equity and inclusion focus, increasing volunteerism, rebuilding thriving youth and teen programs, creating a community abundant in membership and resources. We also are committed to continuing and enhancing existing programs, such as the Women's Group, the Bookstore, SOM Magazine Group, SOM accredited classes, workshop offerings, free or low-cost foundation classes, and our annual volunteer event, Thanksgivingness.
One step away, forward in motion. Know where I've been, know where I'm going. Voices rise up, a beautiful sound. There's more than enough music to go around. Everyone step in line with me. Put your hands up, get on your feet. Oh, 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 oh. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky. Circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before, we shining on forevermore. Circle of stars in the same big sky. This kind of love could fill up an ocean. I lift you up, you keep me going. Anything is possible, there's nothing we can't do. Bring out the best in me, I'll give it back to you. This is my circle, this is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the
Good morning. My name is Andrea Brackfeld, and I'm a volunteer and one of the musicians that performs here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. Today, I am your presider, and my pronouns are she and her. Welcome to the Sunday celebration. For those of you on Facebook, Twitch TV, and YouTube, we would greatly appreciate it if you would share this live stream to bring more of us together in the energy of spirit. I will pause for you to do this now. Wonderful. Our vision is to contribute to a world that works for everyone. We are a diverse community of belonging and growth, sharing the light and joy within ourselves while learning to see it in others. And that is our identity statement. Our work as a community is to illuminate the spirit truth that we all belong to each other. And that calls for us to be inclusive, to celebrate and embrace our unique identities, ability status, age, ethnicity, gender identity, national origin, physical characteristics, race, religion, and sexual orientation. As we open our service, we acknowledge that in Howard County, Maryland, we are on the unceded traditional lands of the Piscataway tribe of the Algonquin. We honor the Piscataway community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. I invite you now to set an intention for this week. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into the feeling of that intention right now as you open to receive Spirit's guidance throughout our time together. We have a saying here: singing or listening to music is like praying twice. So we begin each service with a song. This week, we are blessed to have Jessie Powers. Jessie is an amazing musician, songwriter, and singer who loves to be spontaneously playful. Please help me welcome Jessie Powers.
All right, this song is about what happens when all the parts of yourself finally reunite in one big ball of love, and suddenly you become what you really are. Left my love long ago. I thought I'd give myself a try. I wandered far away from home and left my memories to find. So long I forgot I did till I found my love in a stranger's eyes. Wouldn't trade that thrill for anything. All I wanted was to find myself, so I had to hide. And I said, how long did I live without you? How long, how long? He said, don't you worry, don't you cry, let's be love all day, all night. I've been waiting for you all your life, let's be love all day, all night. I wandered down a darkened path, and I learned to make my way alone. I learned to fight, I learned to run. Learned that every road leads straight back home. And he said, how long did you think you'd live without me? How long, how long? Woo! Don't you worry, don't you cry, let's be love all day, all night. I've been waiting for you all your life, let's be love all day, all night. I said, how long did I live without you? You just needed time. That's what he said. Oh, baby, isn't that the thrill of being alive? Remembering all the love you left behind. He said, don't you worry, don't you cry. Let's be love all day, all night. I've been waiting for you all your life, so let's be love all day, all night. Knew you were coming back home tonight, so I bought us a bottle of sweet red wine. Let's raise a glass to space and time, and let's be love all day, all night. 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 Okay, here's your job. Here you go. Let's be love. Let's be love. Let's be love. Let's be love. I am love. I am love. We are love. We are love. We are love. We are love. So let's be love. 'Cause we are love. And I'm love. And I am love. Let's be love all day, all night. Let's be love all day, all night. I am love all day, all night. We are love all day, all night. I am love all day, all night. Let's be love all day, all night.
Thank you, Jessie, for that amazing gift. Yes, let's be love. I agree. If this is your first time experiencing Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, we welcome you and thank you for joining us today. We want you to know that no matter who you are or whatever your spiritual path, you are welcome here. There are a variety of ways to connect and engage in community. We invite you to continue watching for our announcement roll at the end of the service, where you'll find updates on events and classes, etc. Links on all events can be found on the newly redesigned interactive website calendar at columbiacsl.com/events. Or you can email us at info@columbiacsl.com for more information. And now let us consciously engage in spiritual practice together. We invite you to settle in. Center yourself in this particular moment and find that sacred space within where spirit is all there is. We will have a contemplative reading by Cindy Pridgeon, followed by a guided meditation and affirmative prayer from one of our licensed practitioners, Reggie Kapp.
Good morning. Today's reading is Remembering Home by Reverend Dr. Marilyn Leo from the November 2022 Science of Mind magazine. Remembering cliches from movies years ago, I may be a little partial to home is wherever I hang my hat. This indicates a person who is comfortable and happy in their own skin, as the saying goes. They feel secure in their surroundings. Home is usually a place of comfort. I wonder what the word home means to each of us. There are probably tender moments and happy as well as sad memories. And there are those who have no memory of a home as we are defining it here. Many homes have been or may presently be in a car or one room that changes frequently. But even in those circumstances, when we try, we can find moments to treasure. We are all free to think, create, and bless all that we do have. In this blessing of gratitude, we multiply the goodness we experience. Throughout the day, each time there is the smallest or simplest deed of goodness, simply say, thank you, God, or spirit, life, or whatever words you're most comfortable using. Feel the sincerity, the deepening gratitude. As we experience all this month has to offer, we celebrate the completion of harvest and the changing of the season. Appreciate the beauty and abundance of nature, of those things we as individuals did not and could not have made. Express gratitude for all of life, for every person, animal, star, plant, and tree, for every stone, mountain, and seemingly inanimate object we can see and beyond, where there is life, spirit, in everything. There is constant movement of energy. Nothing is truly inanimate. Give thanks for your home, no matter how bleak it may be at the present time or the memories you have from childhood. Give thanks for yourself now, for your life, creativity, abundance, love, joy, friends and family, whether they be by blood, ancestry, or friendship. Join me in today's affirmation. Give thanks. I am grateful for all the many ways life gives me opportunities to say thank you. I feel an overwhelming gratitude for life. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Cindy. So let's start with being really grateful for ourselves. Let's take a deep breath and just feel the gratitude of being able to breathe. Be grateful for this body. Take this moment to relax. Feel centered. Get comfortable in your chair and really feel grounded. Feel your feet and your ankles and your legs relaxing. Bring that sensation up through your hips and torso. And know that you are supported. Feel your shoulders relax. Your whole body now in a state of open receivership. As we are open to receive the goodness of this moment. We are the way that God shows up in the world. For that, I am grateful. My mind is open. My heart is filled with gratitude. And I move through this day with curiosity and grace and gratefulness. I release judgment, especially judgment of myself. I know that the universe is for me and never against me. And I continue to relax in gratitude. Health and wholeness is my experience now. Peace and harmony and joy is how I start every breath, every word, every experience. And so please join me in this affirmative prayer where I remember and connect and embrace the oneness of all life. I know that there is a source that is absolutely everywhere present and everywhere active, and it is operating in, as, and through each one of us. Each one a beautiful expression of the divine. And so I know we are connected And from the space of connectedness, we are contributing to a world that works for everyone. I'm so grateful for this truth. Grateful for this service and every heart and hand that went into creating this beautiful, magnificent time together. Grateful for every part of this philosophy that I embrace and know as my own truth. And so I simply bless this service, knowing that it is a blessing. And we simply let this word go, knowing that it is so. And so it is.
Oh, thank you so much, Cindy and Reggie. And thank you for reminding me to be so grateful for everything. Beautiful time of spiritual practice. In this community, our practitioners and ministers are eager to know the truth with you. Please feel free to email your request for prayer or counseling to prayer@columbiacsl.com, and we will wholeheartedly hold your truth in prayer throughout the week. And now, please help me welcome back our beautiful guest artist of the day, Jessie Powers.
I am the peace that holds me. In sweetness and relief, I am the peace I am the peace that holds me. Sing it with me. In sweetness and relief. In sweetness and relief, I am the peace. I am the peace. And all I ever wanted was this peace. And all I ever wanted was me. I am the peace that holds me, that holds me in sweetness and relief, in sweetness and relief. I am peace. And all I ever wanted was
Thank you so much, Jessie, for sharing your piece with us and your amazing talent. And now, continuing this month's theme of our home, it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Reverend Jenna Wexler, with her talk entitled Coming Home.
Hi, Reverend Jenna, you're muted. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Take two.
Okay, sorry about that. Welcome everyone back online. It's great to be here, and good morning on a fabulous day. Whether you're in Buffalo under 6 feet of snow, here in Maryland in the bright sunshine, wherever you happen to be, every day is a good day, and we welcome you. So in the United States, we're coming up in just a few days on celebrating Thanksgiving, which is a major, major holiday. And I think part of the reason is that it's a more secular holiday. So some are already flying, some are packing the car, some are out in for long drives. They're going home or welcoming that people are coming home to them. So I remember so many years, my father built the house I grew up in when I was 4 years old. And it was just recently, several years ago after his passing, that we sold the house. As is true with many people who become adult orphans or for other reasons in their lives, that going home to family is not always a choice. There's a part of us where life has invited us to come home or go home in a new way. We often say, return home, go home. I'm returning home, I'm going home. And sometimes that's synonymous with people leaving the planet at the end of their life. But as if death is the way to return to God. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can return to our home within. We can return to that partnership that we always have with God in every moment, in every circumstance and situation. So we don't have to die to return to God. And we don't need something dramatic to go home to others. Let's celebrate. There's much to celebrate. So my opening quote, home isn't where you're from, it's where you find light when all grows dark. We also know this about holidays. Holidays can be a very challenging time for people who have issues from the past. Could be deep pains, disappointments, fears, something horrible that happened, or friction with people. Whatever that wound or shadow may be, it does impact people at the holidays. And so we're going to be blending these and weaving these together because in our going home, we come into oneness and wholeness. Our going home or coming home is really our version of the biblical story of the prodigal child. I said prodigal child. In the Bible, it's a son, but today it could be any of us. And so as we go on our journey, that coming home, going home journey, part of that includes healing our shadows, our wounds, to be in our wholeness of being. And part of that wholeness of being is also remembering that we are inseparably one with God, that is always and forever. And we can live more fully, more exuberantly, more joyously when we're living from that place. So another way of thinking about this is separation. We all exist in this earth plane in some level of separation. And we can find ourselves separated from all sorts of stuff, all sorts of people, all sorts of beings. So first and foremost, how many of us often think of as God as something that's out there, something apart from us, something external? And in that moment, we have separated from God because we are thinking of God as being something other than us. And we are not in that fold. We are not in that embrace. We are not in that oneness of being that is God manifest everywhere through each and every one of us and every point of creation. We separate from nature. Now, several centuries ago, we lived so intensely close to nature. It was part of the fabric of our lives every moment of every day. But today we can live in a high, a skyscraper, glass and steel and cement, and overlook huge cities and forget that there is nature. We've heard many times how children in school really don't know where food comes from. And I think that's probably true of some adults as well. And when we look at what has come into our natural world as we have expanded our population and have progressed in terms of technology and building and so forth, we find pollution, climate issues, deforestations, and so forth. And that in itself is a hallmark of our separation from nature. And also knowing that nature is part of the creation that God has made. We tend to separate from others, and we know that over the last 5, 6, 7, however many years in this country, that division with each other has grown and grown and grown. And we are so prone now through social media and those divisions to be in our own little bubbles. And every time we're in a bubble, we are separate from all that is outside of that bubble. And sometimes we feel like, oh, I just can't go there. I can't talk to that person. I can't be there. And that is a form of separation. And so that really is a question for us to consider is, how do I come back into oneness of being with all my human sisters and brothers? For we are all one because we are all one through God. And from our family, for whatever reason, sometimes it's just geology and timing. We can't be there. Sometimes it's friction. Sometimes it's for other reasons. And lastly, and this is where we start that prodigal journey of return, is when we are separated from ourselves. Every time we've experienced a pain, a wound, a frustration, we've been shamed, feel guilty, whatever that may be, we've left a part of us traumatized somewhere else. And we have separated from that part of ourselves. What that means is that as we've left parts of ourselves behind, we've also built stories around that. And with those stories and that pain, we've buried, suppressed those issues. We may not even remember them. And for those we do that are closer to the surface, we may even more so be in a place of fear, avoidance, and separation. And so overall, what is separation? Separation is a form of being in duality. Now, in preparing this talk, I had a love fest with our text. I went back in and dug deeply. And I must say that on some of these topics like duality and separation, you will not find those in the index. And so I went to my concordance, which just takes me directly to those really powerful passages. And it was like this this revelation that came through about how much science of mind at its core is really all about healing from duality, of coming back into that oneness and wholeness of being with the divine that we are always. And so I want to like to bring in a few quotes in particular. I could have done this entire talk as a series of quotes from the text. It was so powerful. And if any of you are interested, I'm happy to give you some of those page numbers. Just let me know. So let's touch on some of areas of confusion through and resolve them through some key passages that I found. And I'm going to paraphrase some of these. So on page 419 in the text, Hum says, we are not separated, as in separated from God, separated from life. He implies, though, that as individuals, as individual points of creation, as individual expressions of the divine in physical form, we appear separate, as in our features are unique. Our voice may be unique. And those features that bring us to recognize that we are distinct. And so this is an area to really explore. I invite you to do this in the sense that, well, I'm distinct from, can reinforce that separation. But let's come back to that home base of our wholeness and oneness, in which we say unity and diversity, meaning that we can be diverse and distinct, but we are never separate. We are always one with all of creation. And then there is also on page 413, I was blown away by this. Ernest Holmes says, the resurrection, now this is biblical, the resurrection is the death of our belief that we are separate from God. It is the death of our belief, the story we've made up. Every time we've bumped into something that hurt us, shamed us, made us feel guilty, closed our heart, anytime we do that, we're in that separation where we've left a part of ourselves over on the shelf or buried deeply in our subconscious. And so he's saying, let's heal that belief that we are separate from God, because we know in God all things are whole, all things are perfect, all things are healed. It's that wholeness of being, that beautiful balance of having balanced the paradox of our journey in this physical world and all the pains that we may experience with the truth of our being, and learning how to be in that healed, balanced, beautiful center of the fulcrum. And a third that I'd like to share from page 454. We are powerful only as we unite with power. And so when we've separated from ourselves and those shadows that we've left scattered around elsewhere, that's energy that we've left elsewhere or closed down. Those are things that we may have turned off in our life. And they really belong to us. We are not in our wholeness and fullness of being. We're not in our full measure when we are separated like that. And so to reunite with our power, which we know is also that divine power of God, because we are inseparably one, it invites us into coming home through healing those shadows. And by doing so, that's where the light comes from. That's where the joy, the forgiveness, the healing, the freedom, the freeing of ourselves from those wounds, those beliefs, those old stories. And so shadow work, that's a common phrase, is really a personal healing journey of what separates us and allows us to come home into our wholeness and fullness of being. And I want to say that how often we feel awkward, that we can't bring ourselves authentically, that we're afraid to speak up, that we hide our feelings or whatever it may be. Perhaps we hide a talent that we have and we're not using it, enjoying it, whatever that may be. That is something that is not only a shadow, but it's blocking our light. It's blocking us from being that radiant, authentic, confident, powerful being that God created us to be. And so this is an invitation to come home to ourselves in that full sense that we are just full out. We're not holding back anywhere because we know our divinity and we are comfortable with it. And we've healed our fears and our pains, and we are ready to just be there fully. And how wonderful that is. That is something to celebrate and be thankful for. And not just this week because it's Thanksgiving, but in every moment. And how fabulous that feels. And so remember, God is our forever partner, always and forever, infinitely, eternally. And who is God? That master creator, that master healer, that master lover who always wants greater good for us and through us. And remember, we always say God can only do for us what God can do through us. And so being on that healing prodigal journey of coming home to ourselves is that journey of saying, of recognizing this. And I will personally share on my daily prayers, I always affirm that I am inseparably one from God. God is my forever partner. And how fabulous it is to be able to delegate to the Master Creator and turn that over in trust and faith, knowing that it's done and knowing that I am ready to be on that healing journey of letting go of false beliefs and those parts of myself that I'm saying, hey, come on back home here. Come on. I'm ready and willing to be my fuller, more wonderful self that I was created to be. And so how can we start? I invite you to start by being in that observer role. Just start to be more aware of yourself. Where are your emotions? Are they anger, fear, hatred, judgment? What are your fears? What do you find yourself avoiding? Are you aware of what you avoid? And so you might just want to affirm, I am willing to understand my avoidance. I am willing to see my fears. I am willing to recognize my judgments. I am ready and willing to see my emotions and recognize them for what they're telling me. And emotions by themselves can lead you into those other things that you've decided and chosen to start observing as part of your journey home. And then there's 3 questions I invite you to ask. The first is, who else gains from my fear, my anger, my avoidance? Now, whether it's marketing or competitive sports or the political arena, which I guess we could also include as a competitive sport, wink, wink, we know that there are others who can gain by creating fear and avoidance and anger in others. Because there are some who gain by separating us from each other. And so that's part of our observation to our brave soul, is to recognize, oh, look what's going on in the external world. And how am I taking that in? What story am I building around it? And how am I going along with it? Or am I being in my true authentic self and knowing that higher truth that Rumi always invites us to know? about being out beyond the field of duality. Question number 2, what do I gain? What do I gain from continuing in my fears, in my avoidance, in my closed heart? Because oftentimes, whatever that wound may be, it has the impact not only of creating fear, but closing our hearts. And we know that the divine is the greatest love of all. It is that absolute, infinite, eternal power. And so, how can I live more fully with a closed heart? I need to do some healing. And question number 3, what new truth can I know and affirm? And what that's really saying is, I am letting go of a false belief. I am letting go of that old story. That was in the past. Why am I continuing to re-wound myself by holding onto that belief and that pain? And so, what can I know and affirm instead? And I invite all of you, because this type of work does ask us to be brave and courageous. It asks us to feel some pain, because we really can't get through it without feeling it and recognizing it and working with it. And that is part of coming home. And so if you find yourself a little bit stuck, please reach out to a minister, a practitioner, to help you on your journey at that moment. And so I'd like to close with a quote from page 411. Here we go. It stems from the idea that in darkness does not have power over light. As soon as we turn on the light a candle, whatever that light source may be, the sun coming out from the clouds, the darkness disappears. And so we know that that divine light, that source of all light, that is goodness, wholeness, and love, is that which is power. And so Ernest Holmes says, by merely bringing in the light, the darkness vanished into its native nothingness. This is the power of reality over seeming opposition or apparent separation. And so I ask you now let's join together in prayer. Let's breathe together, knowing that the allness, the wholeness of the divine source of all creation is right here, right now. That power, that perfect power and presence, is everywhere present, in every moment, in every situation, in every condition. And that includes every point of creation. On behalf of all of us, I know this to be true. Speaking in the I am inseparably one with God. Our partnership, our relationship is always and forever, across all space, all time, in every situation, in every moment. I am inseparably one with God. This power and presence that is always and only love, forever giving of itself and pouring of itself, that divine goodness, and knowing that God is always seeking greater goodness for us as we allow this goodness to be present in us and through us. I allow this to happen by releasing all that blocks this goodness from being present in my life. And in this way, I come home. I am home. I am always home in this loving, divine embrace. For I am God as a point of expression in this world. And this is my divine truth. This is my true home, regardless of any condition, anything in the external, whoever and whatever that may be. I am always home in my fullness and wholeness of being. And in doing this, I know that only greater good comes from that fountain of divine goodness. And that is my truth. I live into wholeness of being, oneness of being. I am returning to that state that is beyond duality and how good it is. I let this flow out from me, radiate as my truth and as my divine ambassador that is a healing, loving presence in the world. How grateful I am. I let Thanksgiving be in every moment, in every situation. And so it is. Blessings. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving this Thursday. Bye now.
Wow, that was so beautiful, Reverend Jenna. What an inspiring message. And my takeaway was when you said we are okay when we are free from our perfection and we embrace our oneness in imperfection. So thank you so much. Okay, in addition, feel free to hop onto the after chat and take a deeper dive into today's message with Reverend Jenna on Zoom immediately following the service. You can find the Zoom link in the Facebook chat or on our website calendar under today's date, ccsl.com. Please join us next week as we come together in person at the Hawthorne Center with our guest speaker, Eugene Holden, sharing his message, Home is Where the Heart Is. Our guest musician next week will be Topora Belezikian. And if you can't be with us in person, you can always join the live stream through Twitch TV, on our YouTube channel, and of course, on our Facebook page. And now it is my pleasure, once again, to introduce the amazing Jessie Powers for more music for the soul. Thank you, Jessie.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I love being with you, Columbia CSL. We're gonna celebrate being alive today. We're gonna stand in the heart of love. Sunshine on my face and the day is made of magic. Sometimes I still find a way to make my life feel tragic. Good things pour down on me like summer rain, so warm. I try to run, but it's so much better to dance in the storm. See, I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. And I accept my pain without question, it's a blessing. I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I'm expanding and I'm standing in the heart of love. In the heart of love, in the heart of love, in the heart of love, in the heart of love. Things crumble into chaos and I don't know where to turn next. It feels like I'm a failure, but I know it's all for the best. Good things are coming my way, even if I can't see them yet. And if I open my eyes and trust, I see that I've been blessed. So I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. And I accept my pain without question, it's a blessing. I accept my joy without heart of love, in the heart of love, in the heart of love, in the heart of love. I see my blessings and I'm accepting, no hesitation, no reservation. I see my blessings and I'm accepting, no hesitation, no reservation. I see my blessings and I'm accepting, no hesitation, no reservation. I see my blessings and I'm accepting, no hesitation, no reservation. Okay, stop doubting yourself. I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I accept my pain without question, it's a blessing. And I accept my joy without question, it's a blessing. I'm expanding and I'm standing in the heart of love, 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 in the heart of love. Sing it with me, the heart of love. I'm in the heart of love. I'm in the heart of love. I'm in the heart of love. Oh, in the heart of love. 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 I'm standing in the heart of love. I'm standing in the heart of love. We're standing in the heart of love. We're standing in the heart of love. Ooh, the heart of love is a place inside. It's a place in our minds, beyond our minds. Always, always, always we can be standing in the heart of love, in the heart of love, in the heart of love, in the heart of love.
Thank you so much, Jessie. And yes, we will stay in the heart of love, the only place to be. Great song. We appreciate your gifts and your talents. Be sure to check out Jessie's website at jessiepowersmusic.com to hear more beautiful, joyful, and soulful music from Jessie. And now it's time for an opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. We have all just received so graciously, and now we can consciously give back. I invite you to invoke feelings of love, gratitude, and abundance, allowing them to fill you and the space around you. Let's use the power of our word by speaking our prosperity affirmation together. I know that the infinite abundance of the universe is blessing and expanding my offering for the good of all, and so it is. We offer easy ways to donate your offering. You can make a one-time or recurring donation through our website, www.columbiacsl.com, or text your donation to us at 410-498-6175. Or for those of you who prefer, you may drop off or mail in a check to our office. We receive and appreciate your gifts and tithes. Thank you for supporting us so that we may remain a vital and thriving center for our collective spiritual nourishment and development. As we know that as we give, we receive, and we do so in gratitude. Please join me as we bless every gift bestowed upon Columbia CSL. Together, we receive these gifts, knowing that they nurture and support our vision of contributing to a world that works for everyone And so it is. On behalf of our entire community, thank you so much for being part of our spiritual family today. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon. At the end of service, remember to stay for our announcement slides and then hop onto Zoom for after chat with Reverend Jenna. You'll find the link on our website calendar, ccsl.com, under today's date. Again, okay, there it is. Our website is columbiacsl.com. And that's where you'll find information and links for all the things happening in our community. We want to remind you that it's time to renew your membership and make your financial pledge to Columbia CSL for 2023. Yes, that's coming up. A successful pledge campaign helps the Board of Trustees as they plan and budget for next year. If you have any questions or need a pledge form, contact Reggie at columbiacsl.com. And finally, the Board of Trustees want to hear from you. Please take our brief survey if you haven't already done so. A link to the survey can be found on our website, columbiacsl.com. Simply scroll down the page and you'll see the green link. The deadline for submitting your response is November 23rd. And now it is my utmost pleasure to introduce, once again, Reverend Jenna to close our service with a benediction. Thank you, Reverend Jenna.
Let us know together in the I am. I am inseparably one with God. I have powerfully come home to my wholeness, and I am home in myself and in the loving embrace of the divine. And so it is.
Things are changing around me now. The things I knew are unfamiliar somehow. Nothing is certain, it seems so strange. Nothing is certain except for the change. I've got to rise a little higher, set my soul free. Rise a little higher, now I can see. Like a river flowing ever to a greater sea. I can rise a little higher, let the change carry me. Letting go of all of my plans, they slip away like water through my hands. No place to anchor, I'm drifting at sea. Waves of change rolling over me. I've got to rise a little higher, set my soul free. Rise a little higher, now I can see. Like a river flowing ever to the greater sea. I can rise a little higher, let the change carry me. Everything is changing always. let it move you. Let it lift you higher, higher, to the place you've always dreamed but never knew. Carry me into the unknown, far from the comforts and cages of home. Without my past, without my shame, a new horizon is calling my name. I've got to rise a little higher, set my soul free. Rise a little higher, now I can see, like a river flowing ever to the greater sea. I can rise a little higher, let the change carry me. Rise a little higher, set my soul free. Rise a little higher, now I can see, like a river flowing ever to the greater sea. I can rise